Okay, so now we will solve the next Leetcode SQL problem. Question number 3220, odd and even transaction. This is medium category, but we will solve in a way so that it will become very easy. So you have the transactions table, you have the transaction ID, transaction amount, and the transaction date. Right. So if you want to give a try, click on the SQL schema, just copy paste that. We need to find a solution or write a solution to find the sum of amount for odd and even transaction for each day. If there are no odd or no even transactions, specify the data 0. And then we need to return the result by order by transaction date. So this is easy. All right. So let's look at the data. So you have this data. So the question mentioned we need to sum of amount. So you have amount. So basically you need to perform a kind of a function sum. Okay. For odd and even transactions. So what does it mean by odd and even transaction? Odd means like 75 is the odd, even is 200, which is divided by 2. For each day. Each day means basically for on 1st of July, on 2nd of July. So basically the group by, right? Okay. So they group by the first date, 1st of July. Okay. For 1st of July, you have three transactions. So do we need to add all three? So the answer is no, because they mentioned we need to add, but we need to add the odd one separately and the even one separately. So the odd one is 75. So the odd sum is 75. The even is 200 plus 150, 350. For 2nd of July. So we will do group by 2nd of July. Oh, do we have any O transaction? No. So which means 0. Do we have even 300 plus 50, 350? Then we will do group by 3rd of July. 3rd of July, do we have any O transaction? No, 0. Even 120 because we have only one transaction. So it is to be honest, very easy. So you have we have created a table here, right? So what you need? So we need, let's start from transaction date. We know we need to group by transaction, right? So let's do group by transaction date. We need a group by transaction date, and we need to return the output by order by transaction date. Group by transaction date, order by transaction date, and by default it's ascending order, right? Because it is ascending. Okay. So here it's star because what we need transaction ID. Okay, let's mention transaction ID. Okay, transaction ID. Okay, what we need? Transaction ID, we need amount. Okay, so how to calculate the amount? Sum. So we need to basically sum. Okay, so because when we do group by transaction ID, it will make this as a one group. Do we need to sum all three? So the answer is no. It's a condition. If it is divided by 2, then we need to add. If it is not divided by 2, then we need to add. Basically condition, and we are solving in PostgreSQL. So for the condition we have to use the case statement. Okay, let's do case statement. Case, when amount divided by 2 equal to 1, basically it's odd, right? Then if it is odd, then we will keep the amount, so that within the sum function, basically sum function will take some uh, attributes whatever you need to add, like 100, 200, right? So we are adding we are passing the arguments based upon this condition. So we group by 1st of July. So 150 is uh, odd, no, so it will skip. 200 is odd, it will skip. 75 is odd, it will add, right? So but if it is 150, what we need to add? We will add 0. Then amount, else 0, because adding a 0 is making a sum 0, because eventually because if we don't have any transaction, we need to give a 0, because if we did not pass 0, it will take it as a null, which we don't want. And then we need to end it, and we need to give as a column name as odd sum, as odd sum. So let's try to run that. From transactions. Spelling is wrong. What is happening? 1 second, let me check. Select transaction ID. Transaction ID. Select transaction ID. Sum as or sum from transaction group by transaction date. Sorry, order by transaction date, right? Order by 1 second. Order by transaction date. And transaction must appear in a group by. What we need? We need a transaction ID. Something is wrong. Let's figure it out. Basically, in the output, we don't need the transaction ID. We need the transaction date. So that was my mistake. We need a transaction date. Okay. So let's try to run that. Okay. So you get the odd sum. Now we need the even sum as well. So let's do that as well. So basically, we need another statement. Just copy paste that and put even sum, and here we will mention if it is 0, then we will add amount, otherwise like we will keep this. And to some case, okay, we don't need this one. Okay, so we are getting the answer, so let's try that. So sample case is accepted. Let's try to submit. You could see like our all the 11 test cases, you can ignore this 5%, because if you resubmit it again, it is definitely going to increase. So to be honest, don't worry about this, like 5%. Like exactly jump with the same solution, I have not changed anything, it become 25%. So to be honest, but our solution is correct. So what we did eventually, because they like we just read the question, we mention, okay, they mention we need to for each day means group by. Okay, they mentioned you need to like perform the order by as well. Okay, we did the order by as well. They mentioned you need the transaction date. Okay, select transaction date. They mentioned you need the odd sum and the even sum, and this should be calculated by doing the sum of amount. Okay, sum of amount, but it should be conditional. Okay, how to put a condition? Using case statement, case when this, that's it. So you can also give a try, even though you could see this is a medium category, but if we know case statement, group by, very small things, then even the medium category problem looks easy to us, right? So that's it. That's the end of the video, and thank you.